Hello, thank you for this amazing film. It's a complete blast.
I like your Battle Royale shirt.
I knew somebody would know this. Well, Mr. Tarantino, I know that in the pre-production of Kill Bill, there were a lot of kung fu movie stills and movie posters bought before that, and also before Inglourious Bastards. I wondered what that external stuff does, whether it's stills, posters, things you watch, that helps formulate what we see, the final picture. And also for the cast, anyone who would like to answer it, what external sources helped you develop or further create or deepen your characters?
Wow, that's a great question.
That one after lunch.
Yeah, that's a really great question. Well, the thing is, I think all these actors can actually tell you the feeling they have, like the first time they walk into my office and they see all like the 60s Western posters up and the blaxploitation posters up and all this viscera that's there. That doesn't exist anymore in movie posters. Now everything just looks like a Vanity Fair photo shoot. Every single goddamn movie looks like a Vanity Fair photo shoot. And the idea of drawn posters is just doesn't happen anymore. And those were the posters. Those were really cool. But that style of viscera, whether it be the spaghetti western album covers, the blaxploitation album covers, the posters, all that stuff is, I'm kind of trying to get at that. When my stuff pops off in the big ways that it does, or the imagery I'm trying to evoke, the costumes we employ in the films that always have a bit of a comic book panache. That's what I'm trying to get those kind of illustrations in life, in my flicks.
Outside source is a contradiction in terms. I can only speak for myself, but the source is the script, and the script has a source. I can point it out to you.
But on the same line, frankly, we've got the first issue of the Django Unchained comic book has come out now, and the thing that's interesting about the comic book, more to your point, is we keep the entire script in the comic book. All right, so some of the sequences and big chapters that we dropped, we didn't even bother shooting them because, we don't want a 4-hour movie, are in the comic book. And I got to say, I'm as excited about the comic book as I am about the movie. It's boss.
I can tell you that that period of time is one of my favorite periods in history in early developing America, and because it's full of deceit and it's rich in human character or lack thereof, and from the Native Americans to slavery and so on and so forth. So I've read a lot about it. Blood and Thunder is a great book, which I'd read before I started this film, and there's a lot of outside material, and for me, I like to start with my with outside information and just research, and start layering it into my, the ethics of the time, the social graces of the time. Did they have indoor toilets? No. How were manners created? And so I start from the outside, and then I just slowly start to bring it all inside and emotional and stuff like that. And a lot of that comes, like Christophe was saying, there's the source, and then for the character work, I start to find. For me, I like to know what it's like on that day, in that time, with that energy running around, and it just starts to. I do a lot of that work way before I get there, so that when I'm there, it just comes out.